Hola chicos, today we're going to discuss the conditional. The conditional in Spanish is el condicional, and that is a tense, or some people say it's a mood, that deals with things that could have happened, should have happened, might have happened, might happen, could happen, and so forth. So it deals with the hypothetical situation. So let's take a look at this, and let's say this mouse could be the king of the mice. What would he do? Maybe he would ride a cat, he would eat cheese every day, and he would change his name radically. So let's see how we can use the conditional for expressing a hypothetical, desirable, or possible ideas. So the conditional tenses are used to speculate about what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen, or we wish wouldn't happen as well. For example, we have here a rabbit who claims that he would like to have 2 carrots. In this case, it's a desirable thing, and you, or actually, he's using the would in here, yeah, because it is something that is desirable, or he wishes it would happen. All right, so all the discourses in Spanish about the verbs start with the same thing. There are 3 groups of verbs in Spanish: AR, ER, and IR verbs. So the great thing about forming the conditional, instead of doing it as in English using the words would or should, in Spanish you would add the ending to the infinitive of a verb. And what makes it great, that it is the same for AR verbs, for ER verbs, and for IR verbs. It is the same. So instead of taking out the ending and then dealing with the root of the verb, you're going to deal with the infinitive, which means complete verb. So if you want to use the verb hablar, for the normal conjugation, if you remember, you were taking that R out and then you would add the endings to the root. So for this case, for the conditional, you're going to add the endings right to the full form of the infinitive of the verb. So let's see here. It will be hablaría, but would be I would speak. Hablarías, you would speak. Hablaría, he, she, you, sir, you, madam would speak. Hablaríamos, we would speak. Hablaríais, you, plural, only in Spain, would speak. Hablarían, you, plural, or they would speak. So you see here, el conejo hablaría español. The rabbit would speak Spanish. Note that the verb is hablar, and you add the conditional ending right after the infinitive form. So it is much easier than conjugating verbs in other tenses. Note that here you use the subject pronoun, here you are using the subject, el conejo, not subject pronoun. And here you are not using it. You're skipping it because Spanish is the language of freedom. Subject pronouns can be skipped because the verbs are clear and they tell you who does what. So comería zanahorias would be translated as would eat carrots. It's not clear who would eat. It could be he, could be she, could be you. Because Spanish is the language of freedom and beauty. All right, then next sentence would be viviría en España. He would live in Spain. Again, we're implying that it's he, since we mentioned him before in the El Conejo. And here you might ask me, why is that I'm mentioning so many times rabbit here? Well, there is a reason. Did you know that España the word itself means the land of rabbits. And the name supposedly was given by the Phoenicians, who were one of those waves of people who colonized Iberian Peninsula. And so Spain means the land of rabbits. That's how they call the Iberian Peninsula. So it's not an accident that we have a rabbit here. He is the hero of the Iberian Peninsula. All right, let's keep going. We have here the verb probar. Probar means to try. No probaría el pescado. He wouldn't try the fish. So apart from things that would be desirable or are desirable or possible or hypothetical, you use conditional for polite requests. Me gustaría un café. I would like a coffee, you might say to a waiter. You pretend that the waiter has a choice. The waiter might not have a choice, but out of politeness, you pretend. Me gustaría, I would like to have a coffee. Really, you could say, I want coffee. But you don't want to be rude, you want to be polite, so you say, me gustaría un café. So you use conditional for the politeness as well. And then finally, C clauses. Si fuera un ratón, the rabbit might say, if I were a rabbit, if I were a mouse, I would eat a cheese. But since I'm a rabbit, I will eat a carrot. Zanahoria. So you have here the if clauses, you have here politeness requests, and then you have things that should or shouldn't happen from the point of view of the speaker. That's how you use the conditional in English. That's how you use it in Spanish. Okay, let's see here. Un conejo no comería mucho queso. A rabbit wouldn't eat much cheese. You already know conejo, you already know the verb comer, and you know queso. Yeah? Si un ratón fuera un conejo, comería las zanahorias y no el queso. If, again we have here if clause, if a mouse were a rabbit, he would eat the carrots and not the cheese. ¿Te gustaría un poco de queso? Polite question. Would you like a little bit more of cheese? No. ¿Preferiría una manzana? No. I would prefer an apple. Again, you use many times for polite formulas. You use the conditional. ¿Me podría dar un café? Could you give me a coffee? Si él fuera el rey, él comería queso. If he were a king, he would eat cheese. He would be eating cheese right now. Si él pudiera, and now you have here the past subjunctive in these cases, and you might not know it, but it doesn't matter because you are using this practice for practicing your conditional. So we're going to review and learn the past subjunctive later, but it sets you up for the conditional. Just like in English, we say, if I were rich, I would travel more. If I were, it is something that is contrary to the truth. It's a hypothetical reality. Same thing in Spanish. So can you do it on your own using the material that we learned? Viajar, to travel. Caminar, to walk. Beber, to drink. Hablar, to speak. Vivir, to live. Estudiar, to study. So you might say what you or somebody else would do and use the conditional. You can refer to the previous page for the conjugation. Okay? That would be a good moment to stop, to do it, and then to go back and to check your conjugations. I think that is pretty much about the conditional, except you need to know that there are some verbs that do not follow exactly the same pattern. For 99% of all the verbs, it will work like that. But there are a few irregular verbs that would change slightly their root. So let's take a look at it. So we have the good news. no verb stem change in the conditional. So you do not worry about it. All of them are going to conjugate normal. But these verbs are going to have the irregular roots. Salir means to go out, to leave. So the root, instead of salir and then the adding the conditional ending, you will use the root saldr, and it's slightly different. So you will need to memorize it. There are not many of them, but they need to be memorized. So salir means to go out or to leave. Venir means to come. Poner means to put. Tener means to have. Poder means to be able or can. Querer means to want, to desire, to love. Saber means to know, referring to the information, not physical familiarity. Hacer, to do or to make. Haber, to have. It's used as the verb to have in English for the auxiliary verbs. I have eaten, I have seen, I have done. And decir, to say. So remember, for all of those, you will use these roots rather than the infinitives. And here we have the two friends, el ratón and el conejo. So I hope this was a useful and edifying lesson on the conditional. And I hope to record a practice on the YouTube channel soon. So thank you for watching. Good luck to you. If you need anything, like a new practice to record, let me know and I might do it very soon. Ciao, pescao.